So again, thank you all for being here today for another webinar that we're running here. I'm Kelsey Outram, CEO of Lyft Auto Repair Marketing. And again, as you can see, we'll be talking about AI today and how it can help drive growth at the shop and help you understand how it's affecting search. Because again, and I know, AI has been around for a good bit of time now, but it's starting to be more heavily involved in terms of, especially with Google searches and kind of AI prompts that you're seeing there. So I want to make sure I address and answer all any of those questions as you have them, and again, hopefully give you some different tactics, different ideas of how you can leverage AI yourself for your shop. And so this is kind of the agenda for today. Number one, how AI-driven insights can benefit your shop. Number two, we're talking about Google AI, Gemini, and ChatGPT, how that's leveraged there. AI-powered marketing strategies, using AI to increase car count with targeted campaigns, and kind of how to use ChatGPT and Google Gemini in and of itself. If you've never used them before, we'll be chatting about that. Okay. So overall, AI tools, as you can see, they can transform auto repair shops, and AI in and of itself, in this day and age, is such a valuable tool. You don't want to be left out in the dust if you're not leveraging AI of any kind. It's very crazy, all the capabilities and things that it can do, and the way that it can just talk back with you in a regular conversation is pretty unreal. It's pretty amazing tool. And so how it can then kind of help with the marketing process, it makes things a lot more accessible and affordable. There's different things now that you don't necessarily always have to pay the expert to dig into. Yes, there are definitely times and places that an expert is absolutely needed, but there's points where, like, you know what, I have a question that I need answered, and there's different prompts that can come out of AI, and that's a very powerful way to be able to explore. But AI in auto repair marketing. So just, I guess, why in general? Obviously, it's going to save time. So I don't know. Again, let's just throw a yes in the chat if you have used any sort of AI before, whether it's ChatGPT, Google's Gemini, or a different version of AI. Could you throw a yes in the chat for me if you have used it before? All right, so we have yeses for quite a few of the different AIs, which is great. And again, for those that have used it, when you type in a prompt, it's amazing how fast you get your answer. So of course, it's going to save time. You don't need to naturally dig through maybe abundance of articles and reading all those things. You just have an answer spit back for you. And yes, there's references back to some of these things that the AI is pulling it from, but it's literally within seconds that you get these answers, and it's quite amazing what can happen there. And with AI-driven insights, you can optimize marketing efforts, you can predict customer needs. This is a very powerful way of being able to analyze data that then spits back out trends and ways that you should be using these elements for your shop if you're not already. Well, one though, the important factor to also note though is the data itself. Like, the AI is only as good as the prompter, as kind of the input that's being given to it, and thus also the back end of, like, almost the data, the answers that are there. If those answers are incorrect, then it's not going to matter how fast AI is spitting out different analysis for you, because all the data is wrong to begin with. So you want to make sure the inputs are consistent and accurate, especially, for example, within your shop management software, and putting in the right marketing source and putting in the right data that's there. You want to make sure it's consistent and accurate every single time. So if you ever get to the point where you can't trust your data, it's not tying back to what it needs to, then you pretty much can't trust anything that spits out from there. You can't make the proper decisions because you're making decisions on wrong information. So you want to ensure that the data in and of itself is correct. That's kind of the biggest point I want to definitely make, to be able to create data-driven insights. Okay. So why AI? Again, we're going to talk about different facets here as we go through. I'm going to skip ahead actually to this piece in terms of search and how it's going to be affecting overall. So some people out there are like terrified that, ChatGPT is going to take over all of search. So then how do I then make sure that if someone is looking for, say, my auto repair shop in town, Like, do I need to rank high in ChatGPT? Like, is that what needs to take place? And so as you can see here, this is a data set done like October 2024. So last month, and it was a very interesting chart. I found this on LinkedIn, and Datos is it's a SEMrush company, which is again in SEO marketing based company there, giving data. So you can see where still the overwhelming amount of searches at the end of the day still come from Google. And we're talking about billions and billions of searches. Over 80% comes from Google. So that's obviously where majority of time should be spent, in my opinion. Now, it doesn't mean that you want to just drastically ignore these other pieces, because these percentages add up over time, especially if you're talking about thousands and thousands of searches. It's like, yeah, if I win that market share because no one else is doing it, absolutely, that's an amazing feat to be had. But at the end of the day, I mean, Google and YouTube are owned by the same company. And so like, again, those are things that are going to be working off each other. Bing is going to be slightly separate, but because of the lack of volume, at the end of the day, those rankings pretty correlate to what's in Google. ChatGPT is going to be pulling from Bing. And so like, again, the same, looking and understanding where a lot of these data points are coming from helps you understand where things need to go, need to be. And you can see down here, like this social media coming up with a small percentage of searches as well. So again, a wide array of different places to be able to search, but the majority of it will still be Google at the end of the day. So I think fears of, yeah, ChatGPT being the sole place that people will search is not a thing, at least as of right now. Like, Google is still overwhelmingly the source of market share, but also even more importantly, like being an auto repair shop where it's very location dependent. You're looking for an actual physical location. ChatGPT has introduced ChatGPT search. So now it also, like, I don't know if you've typed in, hey, auto repair in Salt Lake City, and you do a search and it'll show a little map. They'll have listings. This is kind of sorted a little bit differently than Google would, and then the rankings are a little bit different, but still not many people are leveraging ChatGPT in that way. It's more of a, hey, I have a question and it wants a list of descriptions and prompts from ChatGPT. It's the majority of the way that it's used. And so still for auto repair, like, again, that percentage of Google being used for actual customers finding your shop is even higher of a market share. So even more so, again, yes, we're talking a lot about AI, but it's not like the end all be all, like, oh, I have to be like, how do I rank the best there? Again, majority of people are still using Google, but that's where Gemini comes into play with Google and how it's being listed. But if you look up a auto repair shop in your area, that little Google Gemini search that appears at the top is not going to be there. Only when you ask, like, it's a basic phrase or a question, that's when you have that little AI generated answer that you see at the top of Google search now, for those. But if you're looking for a physical place, it's still going to be the ads, the map, the organic listing, kind of the go-to thing. And as things iterate, things change. I mean, I'm always posting and making updates about these things, and I'll make sure that I share it with everyone as things continue to change. But as of right now, that's the lay of the land of how things are looking for kind of search in of itself and how AI is kind of affecting it. Okay. But let's talk about 5 ways AI can benefit your shop. So number 1, it can improve customer insights. So with AI, as you already know, it can analyze a large data set. And so if, for example, if your system is already able to do this, where like, yep, you press a button, it analyzes your data, spits out a prompt, that's great. Most reporting structures right now, at least in the auto repair space, are not quite there, where you just have a magical button that then analyzes your insights and gives you strict prompts on like what can happen next, of like what you should be looking at, what you should not be. But what you can do with that data set, though, is you can like highlight it or just enter it into something like ChatGPT or Google Gemini, and it analyzes it for you and can give you those suggestions. And so things I've seen, for example, is like, yeah, my car count is trending this way. Majority of the marketing source comes from here. What are some next steps that I should take to maximize this potential? Then boom, you get a prompt that comes out of suggestions of what you can do there. So, and you can see here, I mean, I type in terms of AI analyzes customer data to identify common repair needs, customer retention drivers. So all those things, again, if you're just giving the data the right way and spitting that out, then you get proper suggestions of like, oh yeah, those are actually really good tactics. I mean, it's things that we do as a marketing company of like, hey, like, what are different ideas and things that we're seeing based on the data that we're getting. so then that we can give our clients the best suggestions of what steps they need to do next to keep continuing to improve, be ahead of their competition in their given area. Number two, it can automate marketing in general. So for example, by leveraging like a CRM and the industry standard intervals, the AI has the ability to schedule automated reminders and things just based on natural workflows. And so that's a really easy way to leverage AI, and it can save so much time. Sends out reminders automatically for you, for example, and you don't physically need to remind them yourself. There definitely is a power though in having, say, a callback where an individual at your store is calling someone. That human to human interaction cannot be understated. It's a very powerful ability to have, but at the same time, I mean, in this day and age, like so many people are like, they're scared to talk to people on the phone. They just want to text. And so if you have that texting ability that's automatic, like it wasn't even a person that had to remember to do it, how much time is that saving, and almost like how much business is that also bringing back to you, because now it's introducing a conversation that you probably would have never had a few years ago because that automation was not integrated into what your shop marketing needs are. So hopefully that's something that you all are naturally implementing in your tools. I mean, with our CRM, we do very similar things. We also like make sure that we understand what campaigns are going out to the right people, etc. So you want to make sure that also the campaigns that you're sending out are very specialized and going to the right individuals. For example, if you're like, you know what, I really want to see more BMWs roll through, and so you want to then segment your customer base of like, yep, who are the BMW customers that say spent at least $2,000 within this year. So then naturally you can market to that, build a list of just these individuals, send them a specific campaign that maybe you ask ChatGPT for, and like, hey, what campaign should I do to get these people to come back in? And then boom, you leverage that campaign, text it out to them. Perfect. You see those people reaching back out and coming through. So those are little things that you can apply and do there. Number three, enhance customer engagement with AI chatbots. And so now within chat features on websites, there's just almost natural plugins now that you can throw on there. You don't have to use anyone in particular. You're just able to add a chat widget that then is powered by AI. Yes, again, if you're able to have a real person chat back, that's gonna always be more powerful. AI is getting really good though, where you almost can't tell when it's a robot versus a human. But at the same time, I mean, having a human interaction never hurts, of being able to have that ability to really relate to the customer and realize at some point, you know, I need to get them on the phone and have this conversation with them. You can provide 24/7 customer support. So now you don't need someone awake in the middle of the night and they happen to be awake on your website and they're chatting you and like, hey, do you have availability tomorrow? Like having a chat widget to like be able to have that conversation with them is really nice to be able to have. Whereas beforehand, you don't, or you would need to pay someone to be awake in the middle of the night to do that. So now the AI kind of allows that feature to save you money and allow money to come in. Answering frequently asked questions and things that you can just pre-prompt it with, improve engagement. So across the board, that's a great way to leverage AI. So number four, you can optimize your digital advertising. So AI can improve your ad targeting by creating customized copy, reaching the right demographics. I kind of already chatted about this, of how you can really customize a silo. Because again, people want a personalized message to them. There's a lot of generic copy that can go out there, and generic copy can work great in a really large array of batches. But sometimes you're like, you know what, this is my best customer and I really want to treat them this way. And so like being able to silo those individuals, create a very specific copy for them can work wonders for individuals, because now they feel like, oh, this person like really did their research and they dug into me, in which, yes, you did, but like a lot of it is AI generated, saved you so much time in doing this, that then created this personal interaction that would have probably never existed beforehand, because you're like, you know what, I don't have time to do that and research who those people are. So another great way that AI can be leveraged to do those things. And then number five, you can enhance content marketing. And so in terms of so obviously when it comes to content and AI, there's a very fine line in my opinion. You never want to just leverage AI and just type in, hey, write me a blog of 500 words about why I'm the best auto repair shop in town. And you get this article, you're like, you know what, this actually sounds really good. I'm going to copy and paste it and throw it on my website. That is never going to work very well. So I mean, we've seen Google algorithm updates over the past year and a half or so, where like, yeah, they massive waves of people improperly using AI, like just de-index websites. And so obviously those are like fringe cases. I'm just not saying that, 100% AI is bad. Just people that are able to get away with, like, yeah, this 100% AI copy and it works okay. But again, I would rather strand the line of, you know what, let's leverage AI to come up with maybe some ideas, some prompts for us, but then you actually write it and come up with those ideas properly, and what should actually go on the website, what will be found as valuable information for just the organic customer that's rolling through. Because again, a lot of times now, because of how often people use AI, you can tell pretty quickly if something is written with AI or not. I mean, I've seen it where in some Facebook groups where people's comments that are in there, it was strictly just from chat. They just copied and pasted a comment to a question that's like, okay, you don't truly have a real answer for that. You just copied that from AI. So you don't want to come off of that as that way on your website either. I mean, you can come up with like, you know what are some popular blog topics that I should be writing about on brake repair? And then it'll come up with a list of topics, and one of those, you're like, you know what, that's actually a really good topic, and I'll write something about that. And those are things that we come up with on our end, again, because we want to leverage AI to help speed up the process of coming up with ideas, especially if things that the AI is seeing as, yeah, these are high ranking topics right now. Like, you would want to write something about this. Perfect. Like, okay, then our team will write it, get it edited, post it. But again, you can leverage AI when it comes to content in different ways, but you don't want it to just be the end all be all when it comes to content, because that's going to affect SEO on that things. So I'll stop there for now. Any questions on any of those top 5 so far? Did that make sense? And if there's anything big I'm missing, again, please throw it in the chat. Happy to speak to it and answer any and all of your questions when it comes to AI there. So I got a question: should AI create the content and I edit it for the personal touch? Yeah, exactly that. Or I guess create the content, edit it for the personal touch. I mean, they're definitely I'm assuming this is saying like, yeah, I'm typing in a blog of 500 words and you see the whole thing and maybe you edit a few sentences. That may work. Again, I mean, I think it's almost better to like reverse that in terms of, hey, you come up with a prompt, you write something, maybe you throw that back in the ChatGPT and have them like, hey, just like proofread this for me, and you can mix and match ideas there and then come up with a final solution. But again, I mean, at the very bare minimum though, you want to always add a personal touch in there, or else like there's different AI softwares that even analyze if it's AI or not, and you want to make sure that you can pass a sniff test, so to say. Or should I be doing all AI and insert personal touch when needed? Okay, yeah, we already talked about that, so perfect. Yeah, that's what it comes down to when it comes to content, and especially with SEO. There's always that fine line. I know it's so nice to have that shortcut of being able to copy and paste, but that's where I would typically stray against that, especially when it comes to an article that's indexed by Google. Now, say in this example, we're talking about maybe a Facebook post. The ability of indexing within Facebook is a little bit unique, where it's not quite as SEO relevant, and so you're able to use a lot more AI generated copy when it comes to those pieces. But again, at the end of the day, you want to feel real, so you don't want to feel too robotic. So I always recommend editing it in some shape or form, but you get penalized more if you were to just do solely on a blog article, say if you did it solely on a Facebook post. So just to kind of give that delineation there. All right. So using AI for content creation. And I mean, we already chatted about this, but can be used for post and ad copies. I think ad copies are a very interesting thing to use it for, especially the things that it's seeing as stickier. And there's some great ideas that are definitely prompted out from ChatGPT and things like that. So again, never hurts to be able to use those things to be able to come with solid ideas. All right, and so this is again an example that we threw in there for just sales and lead generation. And this is like, hey, prompt customer brings their car in for an oil change, and then AI assistant is like, okay, these are like, oh, I guess the script for upselling in an auto repair shop. So what it would look like. Here's the initial greeting of what something you should say. If customer agrees, this is what you should say back. Customer declines. Again, it doesn't need to be this robotic, but this helps in terms of like if you have an SOP for what is the proper way to speak to a customer to upsell them. Like that's something that you have for your shop. You can easily type something like that in ChatGPT, spits out some answers for you. If you like it, great. Then if what comes out here, you're like, no, I don't like it, make it sound more professional. Or you can even see simple things like that, and it'll come up with another prompt, another answer. Or no, come up with something a little bit more funny or a little bit more relaxed. If that's just the kind of the course that you want to take for your shop, obviously different answers would appear there. So you can be as specific as possible as you want with AI, but you just got to make sure that you're just prompting it the right way. So that way you're getting the right feedback of what you want here. But then this, if you were just like copy and paste this and throw this in your SOP, like that's fine to be able to do, because that's how you're like, hey, you do not need to talk to the customer and say this word for word, but this is how I would expect you to be able to talk with the customer, say this is for your service advisor or something like that. So again, one way to leverage it to help for sales. And then for enhancing reputation management and customer reviews, this is where I've seen different things where people have just like a AI response to it. I think that's always, again, we don't want to just use the response of what's given. You want to edit it to make it feel like your own words, but it's a great way to get you a part of the way there, because Google reviews are indexed. And so again, you don't want strictly things, just a mass amount of things just to be strictly AI driven. But it's a good place to get you part of the way there. But especially I think for bad reviews. I think that's on the next slide. Do we have that one for? Maybe it's coming up. But for example, for a bad review, I think that really helps take the emotion out of it, because obviously it's your business. You see a bad review, and I'm sure it does not make you very happy at the end of the day, seeing something like that. For some people, it ruins their whole day, ruins their whole week, and they're like, I wish I never saw that, and it's driving me crazy. And sometimes your gut reaction is to like just really say disparaging things probably about the customer in the Google review itself. And I mean, at times, maybe people in the area may like that, and they're like, yeah, I know that individual and you came off the right way. But at the end of the day, to me, I think you always want to take a professional approach. And I think having like ChatGPT, like say, I want to say this, but can you make this sound a little bit more professional? And then ChatGPT comes up with an answer for you. You're like, that sounds way better. And like that helps you understand, like, okay, the difference between what I wanted to say versus a step back, where it's literally a robot coming up with an answer for you, that they're not emotionally attached to the business at all. They're just trying to help come up with a professional answer, how you should respond, what would get the best feedback. And so that's I think a great way to leverage ChatGPT in those situations, to again take the emotion out of it, and that's because once it's on there, it's there forever. So it's like someone can screenshot that, and even if you were to quickly delete the review, someone saw it, they screenshot it, blast you all over the place for saying some things. You don't want to start going down that path. So again, reread, then post when you're like, yeah, this is a good thing to do. Okay. And then so other things, I mean, you can look at GBP's guidelines for review responses, articles on using AI for sentiment analysis. So the different ways that you can leverage AI for reputation management. But again, like I mentioned, you can use ChatGPT to craft great responses, positive, negative, for your review responses. And then again, try not to copy and paste, come up with your own little tweaks slightly there from that point on. But here's an idea where an example review, you can literally put in, copy and paste what someone's review response is, and then ask ChatGPT, like, what should I say back to them? And then boom, they come up with a response. You're like, what, that sounds pretty good. Or again, if there's anything that you don't like, you can literally type in again, I don't really like this comment. Please come up with a different answer. And then boom, a new answer appears. So and within seconds. So like you can come up with a few different ones. You can ask it to come up with like multiple answers for you. A lot of different things that you can pull off here. That just makes your life a bit easier if you're like, I really want to be the one that does the review, but I'm sick and tired of coming up with answers for it. Great way to be able to use it, to come with answers for you. Using AI for repairs in your shop. So AI powered diagnostic tools. So again, I'm not going to talk too much into this. I mean, I'm sure there are different DAG tools that are leveraging AI more and more based on the data that's in there. If not, again, I'm sure fancy things are coming along the lines. Just wanted to point out though that definitely it's going to be a facet that will be coming along the lines and just getting better as it goes along. For again, as we go through this, there'll be quite a bit of different examples that we just kind of have grabbed from ChatGPT as we pulled this out. But you can come up with different marketing strategies as well. That they're, you know what, hey, I need a text for a marketing promotion to my customers. What can I put out there? Maybe throw in a couple emojis. Like there's again tons of things that you can be very specific on. Maybe you want it to be in the certain voice of someone like a speaker that you respect, then you can even ask it to do that. Like, or if you're like, I want it to be in the style of this comedian, you can do that and come up with different vibes and things to try out. Obviously, you can do lots more A/B testing with these different prompts, but this helps you get, again, so much further ahead than coming up with everything from scratch by yourself each and every month. That gets a little bit difficult to do, I'm sure, for your owners, because you have a lot to do. So different ways here, again, that you can leverage ChatGPT. So hopefully these ideas are useful so far that we've been sharing. We'll have a good amount more as we continue to go along here. So additional things for like SMS marketing, there's just different vendors and things that use AI personalization, different articles, automations that you can leverage along the way there. So AI and website. So there's obviously different AIs that even do images now, do videos now that again are unreal. There was one where I saw an AI powered podcast with between two different guests, and all you have to do is go in and type in the prompt of what the topic is for the podcast and the style and tone that you want them to have with each other. It's like male, female, male, male, whatever it is there, like, and they'll have a real conversation like for 30 minutes, and you'll listen and you'll be like, holy moly, this is actually like, it actually sounds like real people that are talking like really about a topic that like sounds really organic. It's pretty incredible. But same thing with website personalization, images, you can throw in different prompts into like AI image settings, and then coming up with maybe pictures that you want that makes stock photos a little bit better. Obviously there's a cost associated with some of these things, but again, that way you're just not like everybody else. You can come up with slightly different things to make things look a little bit more enhanced, a little bit better. So and pretty incredible different ways that AI can be powered now across the board. And local SEO and GBP optimization. So for Google, obviously they've come up with Gemini. That's sort of their competing AI to ChatGPT. And so you've seen a lot, again, of those search prompts at the very top of Google, I'm sure, that say like AI powered or AI, I'm pretty sure it says AI powered answer. And it gives you like an answer, and you see little links to like different websites that it can go to for references. And as you scroll down, you see even more information. So it's definitely being leveraged more and more within different prompts. But again, the prompts in which the AI is being leveraged is going to be for what's like helpful content or question-based content, or where the phrase is that, or then looking for a direct answer, and that's where the AI will appear at the top. For a local SEO, it's not quite as heavily involved yet in terms of like AI recommends this. In a sense, that's what the map is. It's like an algorithm that's spitting out who it believes is the best in the area for the prompt that you're giving it, but it's not coming in as quite the AI generated like, oh, this auto repair shop is the best auto repair shop in town based on this. Like, it's not giving you that quite at the top yet. But the machine learning capabilities, I mean, it can enhance the results that are there. It's important to understand where that information is coming from, especially for us as in the SEO world. We're constantly looking and understanding how AI is determining the answers in which it's coming up with. Is it just like, oh yeah, this is because of the highest organic ranked articles, and so then now more so the the power of organic search keeps going lower and lower because the ads are at the top. We have the map, the map pack section, and then we have the organic results. Someone has to scroll down to get all the way there. So thus, like the amount of clicks that keep coming from there keeps getting less and less. But if now the AI answer comes at the very top, and the AI answer is heavily like weighed on like who is the highest rated organic articles right below, that puts a lot more onus now on back onto the organic abilities. So those are things we're constantly analyzing to understand, like, okay, where it is most of the weight going from for like the viewer perspective of a customer. So thus where we need to focus majority of our time on. So, and then also you can ask for ideas in terms of this like Google Business Profile listings for visibility and kind of analyzing keyword data across the board. We've leveraged it for ideas in terms of Google ad campaigns. So like these are the keyword sets. How can we maximize this campaign even better? So there's just so many different things that you're able to do to just get that suggestion and just get different ideas and creativity going. At times it's tricky to come up with ideas yourself. And so by having an AI robot come up with different things too that are just like spitting out constant ideas, and you're like, yep, I like this one, or nope, I don't like any of them. Give me more. And it just keeps on churning out, and then eventually, hopefully, you get to what you want to see. And then using AI to increase car count with targeted campaigns. Again, AI can quickly identify, say, that your high value customers, and you're like, you know what, the common trend between my top 10% of paying customers is this. And you're like, okay, that's kind of what would make up my ideal customer, I would say. And then you can create campaigns around that exact thing to bring more of those types of people in, to really, again, create that personalization through AI. That's what how I like to be able to use AI, because using AI on its own, it's a robot. It's not going to be personal really at all. I guess you can create prompts to make it more and more personal, but it can get you a good distance there. So then that way you can put on the final touches, and the amount of time that it took you to get there is exponentially decreased. And so that's going to be a super powerful way to be able to leverage that. So in terms of data being collected, so this is just, again, these are on the AI sources, the documentation where things are being grabbed from. So this is user behavior tracking, search history analysis, device and location data, demographic segmentation. And across you guys can read it. These are different ways that you can segment based on just data and how AI can analyze that data to spit out a good prompt for you. Okay. This one is use AI to improve website SEO. And so in terms of website SEO, this is going to be where you're like, hey, you know what? How do I improve the ranking of a keyword in my area? You can put that in, and then it would be like, hey, these are the different topics in which I think you can write about to improve that keyword. And then it comes up with different, again, almost an article prompt for based on that keyword research that you did. You can start from the very beginning and just say, hey, this is my website. What keywords do you believe I'm not ranking as well for? A lot of it is going to be redundant though, as at the initial level. So you got to dig pretty deep when you're leveraging ChatGPT to get to the answers that you're wanting. But still, obviously, it's better than nothing. It's great to at least get that data point, that data set to be able to get you a good distance there. So I think I chatted about this a little bit already, but in terms of pay-per-click and Google Ads management, same sort of thing. You can come up with ideas for ad copy that, hey, what are the best ad campaigns in the area for this type of shop? Why is this working really well right now? Or what is not working? And kind of being able to play off those things. Local service ads. So that's obviously the new thing that we chatted about in our last webinar. That you can't really come up with ad copy quite as much for local service ads, because it's a lot more reliant upon what Google is just spitting out for you. You just kind of give it basic things of what you do, how you do it, and Google kind of rides with it from there. So that's going to be where local service ads can be the difference there. We have a question: what type of personality trait words will give me the ideal voice for my shop's voice when using AI? I mean, that's a great question. I think that depends on the personality type that you want to give off as like kind of maybe your culture vibe. And so maybe, yeah, obviously as you go through this, you're teaching ChatGPT your style, what you want to see, and you can be, again, very specific in terms of, hey, I would like this to sound like this individual is giving a speech, and it will literally spit it out, and you'll be like, that actually sounds really close to that person giving a speech. And so in terms of the personality, that's where I would kind of shoot back to you as the shop owner of like, what vibe do you want to give off and the culture to your community? And again, is it a loose, relaxed, friendly vibe? Is it a very professional, high class environment? Like again, whatever it may be, and then find individuals that again speak that way and give that as the prompt, and that's the direction in which that will start like. And you'll see that you will not even have to start keep reminding ChatGPT to give you that type of answer. That's the type of answer that will just naturally be given because you keep asking for it. So it learns. It's crazy. And that's the level that I'll take in terms of personality trait. So I hope that answers that okay. But AI is very valuable in terms of keyword research. I mean, we leverage it all the time in terms of just understanding what are the most popular words. Just like you look at your Google Search Console, you can just highlight all the words that are there, and from there, that's a good data set to have. And then you just ask a prompt from the data set. Because again, the results are only going to be as good as the data that you're giving ChatGPT at the same time. Because if you're not giving very good data, what's going to spit out is going to be useless to you. Okay. So how AI can manage ad campaigns, so real-time bid adjustments. So there's different softwares now that do things just like this. When you're doing manual bidding, and then it just like is a attachment add-on to your Google ad platform, and it can just weight bidding based on time of day, based on when you're getting the most conversions. I mean, Google itself is doing things naturally like that too. If you're giving it sort of the right prompt. Ideally, though, you're not clicking on too many check boxes for Google because their automatic stuff tends to not work very well. It just kind of wastes of your money. But there's different ways that you can definitely have sort of add-ons to like manage timing and whatnot accurately for you. Can AI help create localized ad campaigns to attract customers from nearby neighborhoods or towns? I mean, I don't see why not. It's gonna depend on how effective you're asking sort of prompts and questions into ChatGPT to then spit out an answer that is a viable, like a worthwhile result. Because again, if you're asking a very generic thing, it's going to give you a very generic copy back. That probably won't relate to that neighborhood very well. But if you're like, yeah, this zip code has these different things, and so the customer tends to be this type of individual, how would I then create a proper marketing campaign to reach them? That's a lot more data, a lot more information to be had to create a better ad campaign for that. So hopefully that answers that question. And then in terms of automating, so as we continue on in terms of automating ad creative optimization, so you can do a bunch of A/B testing with Gemini, smart bidding. So there's a lot of recommendations that can happen through Google. Some are helpful, some are not. But as you play with it, you'll start learning what is more beneficial than others. All right, and so then kind of the future of AI and AI suggestions right now. So there are mentions that Gemini would be more integrated into Performance Max campaigns, but again, Performance Max campaigns tend to work the best for e-commerce types of business campaigns. So usually, again, I usually recommend Performance. If you see a Performance Max campaign in your Google Ads, I would suggest not having that on. Those typically do not work very well for auto repair shops, just in the nature of how the ad appears. It's meant more so, I believe, for an e-commerce type of ad. So because auto repair shops are not that, I would recommend not really using this type. Okay. And so we're going to go through now a few examples of just ChatGPT. I think we've already shown a few here of what it could look like, but I just want to give a few more different scenarios, what you could leverage and use. Hopefully, again, just to give you different ideas of how you could be using it yourself if you're not already. So this scenario example, we have a customer sent an inquiry through their website asking about brake repair services, including costs and estimated wait times. And so then you would open ChatGPT and input a prompt for the inquiry, write a friendly professional response to a customer asking about brake repair services, yeah, including estimated costs and wait times. And then with that prompt, you would then edit it out. You can even give it, say, hey, these are probably the estimated costs that our shop works with, and these type of times are typical. What can I say back to them? And that can be the initial prompt. If you already have an AI widget, those are things that you can already have pre-programmed in there. But this is where you'd go if you haven't been to ChatGPT. Just type in ChatGPT into Google or whatever search function you have. You'll see it there. It's kind of the first option. There's different levels and tiers to ChatGPT, but there's a free level, so you can easily use the free version. We pay for our highest level of version, just again to get the best information possible. But there are free abilities here where you can then see, boom, prompt that then spits out via what you would send back to them via email or something like that. Yeah, I guess this is a more zoomed in version. And then Google Gemini, say you're creating a marketing post for social media. The shop wants to promote a brake repair service with a winter discount. And then so you tell it, write a Facebook post. And this is the different look of Gemini. You can see they all look pretty similar. But with Gemini here, you can see that doing some emojis, different options that you can have here. So it's pretty cool. I mean, both things are similar in terms of how you're leveraging it. Right now, obviously, ChatGPT came out first, and so there's a lot more robustness to it, I believe. But I mean, Google's going to make sure that they don't fall too far behind. So Gemini is still a very powerful source. That's where Gemini is being used to leverage those AI answered prompts on their actual search pages too. Okay, so this is a more zoomed in version of what the options are. And again, at any time, if you're like, you know what, I don't like these options, come up with 3 more options. 3 more will spit out. You can say, hey, throw in a few more emojis or whatever it may be. That's what this would be, and you can just run with it. Okay, so that is everything in regards to AI. Hopefully that answers, or at least hopefully that's provided valuable for y'all in terms of how you can leverage AI, but also hopefully that I level set kind of the fears of how AI is taking over in terms of search. Because as of right now, for auto repair shops, like you can see, like Google is still the overwhelming search function, but even more so for auto repair because of this, like the nature of it being a physical business, a local place that people are looking for. And AI isn't quite leveraged in that sense in terms of spitting out an AI generated answer. It's more allowing people the option of like, here's the map, here's what's ranked well. And people will pick and choose from there, kind of thing, how it's been done. Status quo as of right now. As things change again, I'll make sure that I'm updating everyone with those answers. But those that's kind of what we're seeing across the board right now. So are there any other questions, any other thoughts, concerns that you all have? I appreciate you being here with us. And for those watching the replay, when this replay comes out, thank you for watching the replay. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already done so. I need to make sure I always share that. But yeah, if you have questions, please throw them in the chat. I thank you all for attending and being here today. If you want us to analyze and see what you have going on marketing wise, we do free strategy sessions that you're able to book here. You can give us a call, email, go onto our website, book a strategy session where we analyze everything that's going on, your rankings, your website presence, how you can be improving to increase your car count, hit your goals, do those things. We have an updated internet marketing checklist. And so if you can go to go.liftautorepairmarketing.com/marketing checklist, or you can also find that on our website. This is some slight tweaks we've made since the beginning that we've had for a long time. But you can check that out there and download it, free download. If you're not already in our Facebook group, please join our Facebook group with other auto repair shop owners, nearly 2,000 people in there. So where we share thoughts, ideas, we share the latest and greatest of marketing updates in there as well. So make sure to check that out. If you haven't already, we have a book my wife and I wrote that you can grab on Amazon, Drive More Business. And that is everything for today. So again, thank you all for attending and being here. Hopefully this was valuable. Oh, I have a question. Perfect. Are there any instances of people manipulating the AI search results? We seem to have negative reviews hurting us. I can see if there's manipulation of the AI searches. I can see it's affecting us in the same way. I'm not quite understanding this question. Are there any instances of people manipulating the AI search results? So I guess I'm not sure exactly how they would be manipulating the AI search results in where. Like if we're talking about like in Google and thus like the search prompt that's there, but there isn't really a ranking hierarchy in AI right now. So I'm not sure how that would be manipulating it. So I apologize. I'm a little bit confused by this question and the prompt that's here. Because they talk about negative reviews hurting you. And I feel like if negative reviews aren't real, then you can easily mark those and get them removed from Google. So I'm not sure how to answer your question. I apologize. So yeah, if you want to, we can take it offline and you can ask me as well, or I can do a better job. You can meet with me. But yeah, again, thank you all for being here today. And hope you have a great Thanksgiving as that comes through, and enjoy time with your family. All right, talk to y'all later.